What if one child's laughter could unravel a community's hidden prejudices? On a sweltering summer day in a quiet Oregon park, a single mother faced a storm of venomous glares and whispered accusations, all because her daughter dared to play with unbridled joy. They tried to drive her out, but what happened next? A breathtaking act of defiance and a child's unstoppable spirit turned a divided park into a celebration of unity that no one saw coming. Stick around, because this story will hit you in the heart and leave you cheering. It was a scorching July afternoon at Maplewood Park in suburban Portland, Oregon, where the sun blazed like a forge, turning the asphalt paths into shimmering mirages. The air was thick with the scent of pine needles, barbecued hot dogs, and the sweet stickiness of spilled lemonade. Children's shrieks and laughter bounced off the colorful jungle gym, a kaleidoscope of summer chaos. Maya Carter, 36, sank onto a splintered picnic bench under the shade of a towering Douglas fir, her denim jacket slung over her shoulder, her locks pulled into a loose bun. She sipped an iced coffee, her eyes never straying far from her 9-year-old daughter, Nia, who ruled the playground with the confidence of a born performer. Nia twirled down the slide, her braids flying, her giggle a melody that seemed to dance with the breeze. To Maya, that sound was a lifeline. Nia, bold and unbroken, a child who hadn't yet learned to dim her light for anyone's comfort. But today, Maya had no inkling that Nia's joy was about to ignite a battle that would test her strength and reshape a community. Maya didn't notice the first sharp glance, a piercing stare from a woman in a crisp white sundress, her designer sunglasses perched like a crown. Her lips pursed as she clutched a reusable coffee mug. Nor did she catch the low grumble from a man in a Patagonia vest, his arms crossed, his brow furrowing every time Nia's voice soared above the park's hum, calling out to friends as she led a game of tag near the climbing wall. Maya's focus was singular, giving Nia this slice of freedom. After a year in this affluent suburb, where neighbors smiled politely but kept their distance and school emails hinted at Nia's exuberance as a problem, the park was her daughter's haven. Maya was her guardian, shielding Nia from the world's jagged edges, unaware of the resentment simmering around her. Then a voice cut through the air like a shard of glass. "Excuse me." Maya's head jerked up, her coffee cup pausing mid-air. Standing before her was Lauren Mitchell, early 40s, her blonde bob gleaming under the sun, her green eyes sharp as knives, her posture rigid with barely contained indignation. She held a phone in one hand, her nails polished coral, the other hand planted on her hip. "Your daughter is completely out of control," Lauren said, her voice low but venomous, each word a dart aimed to wound. "She's screaming like a wild animal. It's upsetting the other kids, don't you see that?" Maya's stomach lurched, the accusation landing like a blow. She glanced at Nia, who was halfway across the field, orchestrating a game of space pirates with a cluster of kids, her face alight with a grin that could melt stone. Upsetting? Out of control? Nia was just playing. Maya set her coffee down, her movements slow, deliberate, her fingers tightening around the cup. "She's playing," Maya said, her voice calm but laced with iron, her brown eyes locking onto Lauren's. "Kids make noise. What's the problem here?" Lauren's lips curled into a smile, cold and calculated, as if she'd anticipated pushback. "The problem," she said, stepping closer, her sandals crunching on the gravel, "is that she's disrupting everyone. My son is trying to enjoy his book over there, but he can't focus with her shrieking like that." She gestured toward a boy lounging on a picnic blanket, a paperback open but ignored, his eyes fixed on Ania's game with a flicker of curiosity, not distress. Maya's pulse quickened, a familiar heat rising in her chest, but she kept her composure. She'd navigated these waters before. Subtle slights at PTA meetings, raised eyebrows at the grocery store. Losing her cool would only feed their narrative. "I'll watch her," Maya said, her tone flat, unyielding, her gaze unwavering, challenging Lauren to push further. But Lauren wasn't finished. She leaned in, her voice dropping to a hiss, sharp and cutting. "Listen, you're not getting it. This park is for everyone to enjoy, not for this kind of chaos. Are you new here? Because we have a certain way of doing things." Her eyes swept over Maya's faded jeans, her sneakers, her dark skin, lingering just long enough to make the subtext clear. The words hit like a slap, raw and intentional. Maya rose, her 5'6" frame steady, her presence a quiet storm that seemed to still the air. Her heart thundered, but her voice remained low, lethal. "A certain way," she said, each word a blade. "What's that mean? Say it plain." Her eyes bored into Lauren's, daring her to cross the line she'd drawn. Lauren faltered, her confidence wavering for a heartbeat, but before she could respond, a man strode forward, his boots heavy on the path. Ethan Walsh, mid-40s, broad-shouldered, a flannel shirt rolled up to his elbows, his jaw clenched like he was spoiling for a fight. "Let's cut this," he growled, his voice rough, authoritative, slicing through the park's hum. "Your kid's too much, too loud, too wild. She's ruining this place for everyone else. You need to take her and go. Now." His words were a sledgehammer, delivered with the arrogance of someone used to compliance. The park froze. The chatter of children faded, the swings squeaking faintly in the distance. Maya felt every eye on her, moms pausing their stroller pushes, dads glancing up from their phones, a teenage volunteer at the snack stand craning her neck to watch. A woman by the sandbox whispered to her friend, their eyes darting to Maya. A man near the water fountain stood, arms folded, signaling he'd back Ethan if it came to it. Across the field, Nia slowed her game, her head turning toward her mom, her brow knitting with confusion. The shift in the air twisted Maya's gut. She hated that Nia might feel this. "You're telling me to leave?" Maya said, her voice slow, deliberate, each syllable carved from granite. She stepped toward Ethan, closing the distance until she could see the stubble on his jaw, her eyes blazing with a fire that didn't waver. "Because my daughter's playing? Because she's happy? Or is there something else you're too scared to say?" Ethan's face reddened, his jaw tightening, but he didn't back down. "You know why," he said, his voice a low rumble. "She's running this place like it's her personal circus, yelling, stirring up trouble. Nobody wants that here." He waved a hand, as if the entire park stood with him, though most parents avoided his gaze, their silence deafening. "Nobody," Maya shot back, her voice rising, sharp enough to slice through the tension. She turned, scanning the park, her eyes a challenge to every onlooker. "Who's nobody? You?" She pointed at Ethan, then swung her finger toward Lauren, who shifted uncomfortably, her earlier bravado fraying. "My daughter hasn't hurt anyone, hasn't broken a thing. You're not mad she's loud, you're mad she's here. So what is it? Say it to my face." The air crackled, thick with unspoken truths. A mom by the swings fidgeted, pulling her toddler closer. A dad near the picnic tables muttered under his breath, but no one met Maya's challenge. Lauren tried to smooth it over, her voice syrupy, condescending, Let's not escalate, okay? We're just trying to keep this park nice for all the kids. There's another park. Riverside, maybe. Bigger, less intense. You get it." Maya's laugh was a whip crack, raw and searing, echoing across the park. "Oh, I get it," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "You mean a place where my black daughter and I won't bother your park?" She spat the word "your" like it was poison, her eyes flashing between Lauren and Ethan, who both flinched but held their ground. "You think you can stand here in a public park and tell me we don't belong because my kid dares to laugh? You think you own this space?" Lauren's mouth opened, then closed, her face paling. Ethan muttered, "You're making this something it's not." But his voice faltered, his certainty crumbling under Maya's gaze. She stepped closer, her presence a tempest, her voice a low, dangerous growl. "Making it something? You two came at me, ganged up, told me to leave because my daughter's playing like every other kid here. Who gave you the right to decide who belongs?" The park was a graveyard. A child's cry pierced the silence, but no one moved. Nia stood by the climbing wall now, her game abandoned, her eyes wide and searching, locked on her mom. Maya's heart ached. She didn't want Nia to see this, to carry this weight, but she couldn't yield, not now, not ever. "I'm not going anywhere," she said, her voice a hammer on anvil, final and unshakable. She sat back on the bench, legs crossed, arms folded, her eyes daring them to try again. "Nia's not going anywhere either. You want to push this? I'm right here." Ethan's jaw twitched, his fists clenching, but he muttered something under his breath and turned away, pulling Lauren with him. They retreated to a cluster of picnic tables, their heads bowed, their whispers frantic. The other parents stirred. Some glanced at Maya, some huddled in tight groups, their voices low, their eyes flickering with judgment or unease. Maya sat, her hands trembling in her lap, her spine rigid, the weight of their stares pressing against her like a physical force. It wasn't new. This feeling of being watched, judged, dismissed. She'd felt it at coffee shops, in parent-teacher conferences, in the way store clerks followed her with their eyes. But it never got easier. She was alone, exposed, but she'd be damned if she let them see her break. The next hour was agony. The park didn't heal, it fractured. Parents formed cliques, their voices hushed, their glances sharp and fleeting, like Maya was a fuse waiting to ignite. A mom in a linen jumpsuit called her son away when Nia ran near, her tone sugary but slicing. "Sweetie, let's go check the swings." The boy hesitated, clearly wanting to join Nia's game, but followed. A dad with a fancy DSLR camera snapped photos of the kids on the slide, but angled his lens to exclude Nia, as if she didn't exist. A woman pushing a double stroller made a point of moving her diaper bag farther from Maya's bench, her nose wrinkling like she'd caught a bad smell. Maya felt every jab, every slight, her skin prickling with the urge to scream, to tear apart their carefully curated world. But she didn't. She sat tall, her jacket draped over her lap, her eyes tracking Nia, who kept playing, though her glances toward Maya grew more frequent, more uncertain. Maya forced a smile for her, wide and warm, to keep Nia's world whole, even as her own splintered. Then Nia sprinted over, her face flushed, her purple sneakers kicking up dust, her eyes blazing with an idea untouched by the park's poison. "Mom, can I start a big game?" she asked, bouncing on her toes, her hands flailing with excitement. "Like, for everybody. I got this idea. It's going to be epic." Maya's breath caught. She wanted to bundle Nia up. shield her from the vipers circling them, tell her they were leaving this toxic place forever. But Nia's face, God, that face, was pure, radiant joy, a light no one had extinguished yet. Maya couldn't be the one to do it. She swallowed hard, her voice steady despite the storm in her chest. "What kind of game, sweetheart?" she asked, brushing a stray braid from Nia's forehead, her fingers lingering, anchoring her. "It's like capture the flag, but way cooler," Nia said, her words spilling out in a rush. "With teams and then a treasure hunt and maybe a dance battle at the end. I can get all the kids to play, Mom, I swear." Her hands painted the air, mapping out the field, her grin so wide it seemed to light the park. Maya's throat tightened. She glanced past Nia to the parents, Lauren and Ethan, still huddled by the picnic tables, their eyes locked on her, waiting for her to falter. She wanted to say no, to protect Nia from their next move, to keep her safe in a world that didn't deserve her. But Nia's energy was a wildfire, uncontainable, and Maya would rather burn than let anyone, herself included, snuff it out. "Okay," she said, her voice soft but firm, ruffling Nia's braids. "Go big, Nia. Show 'em who you are." Nia didn't pause. She shot off like a comet, tearing across the park to the sandbox, where 3 kids were sculpting a lumpy sandcastle. "Hey, you guys want to play a game?" she called, her voice ringing like a bell. "It's gonna be the best." The kids looked up wary, their dad glancing over with a frown, but Nia's grin was infectious. They nodded, abandoning their castle to trail her. She hit the swings next, targeting a boy pushing his little sister. "You're super fast," she said, pointing at him. "We need you for this game." He hesitated, then grinned, hopping off to join the growing crew. Maya watched, her heart pounding, braced for rejection. Surely someone would intervene, pull their kid back, shut Nia down. She waited for the blow she knew too well, but it didn't come. In 25 minutes, Nia had rallied a small army, 30 kids, maybe more, black, white, Asian, some loud like her, some so shy they barely spoke, all following her like she was a beacon. She climbed onto a picnic table, standing tall, hands on her hips like a captain. "Okay, everybody," she shouted, her voice slicing through the park's tension. "We're playing capture the flag, but with a twist. If your team gets the flag, you gotta do a victory dance to win, like this." She launched into a wild dance, spinning, shimmying, arms flailing like she was in a music video. The kids roared with laughter, copying her, their goofy moves turning the grass into a dance floor. Maya's lips twitched, a spark of pride piercing her guarded heart. Nia wasn't just playing. She was rewriting the park's rules, and no one could look away. The game exploded like a firework. Kids sprinted across the field, dodging between benches and trees, shrieking as they chased the flag. A bright red bandana Nia had pulled from her pocket. When a team scored, they broke into ridiculous dances, twirls, moonwalks, one kid doing an exaggerated floss that sent everyone into hysterics. Nia was the heart of it, darting through the chaos, cheering every kid like they were her best friend. "That's it! You're amazing! Keep it up!" she yelled, her voice a magnet, drawing more kids in. Parents who'd been glaring at her an hour ago now watched, their faces shifting, some puzzled, some amused, a few genuinely impressed. A mom in a tie-dye shirt laughed as her daughter attempted a breakdance spin, falling into the grass with a giggle. A dad by the climbing wall clapped when his son snagged the bandana, shouting, "That's my boy." Maya stayed rooted to her bench, her hands gripping the wood, her eyes scanning for trouble. She didn't trust this shift, didn't believe these people could change so fast. She'd seen too many false faces to fall for it. Nia kept pushing. "Treasure hunt, whole park," she announced, and the kids cheered, scattering like confetti, hunting for treasures, sticks, pebbles, and bottle caps Nia had declared valuable. She ran to a mom in a baseball cap, tugging her sleeve. "Hey, you gotta play. Hide something for us." The woman blinked, caught off guard, but Nia's enthusiasm was a tidal wave. She laughed, tucking a shiny quarter behind a bench, earning a whoop from the kids. Other parents got pulled in. A dad with a beard hit a pine cone, grinning as kids swarmed him. A mom with a baby carrier joined the hunt, pretending to search while making the kids squeal with fake clues. Maya watched, her breath shallow, her mind racing. The park was alive, and Nia was its heartbeat, turning hostility into chaos, then chaos into something vibrant. She didn't stop. After the treasure hunt, she declared, "Dance battle! 2 teams, show your moves." The kids lined up, no hesitation, just a joyful mob. Nia split them with the ease of a natural leader, pointing and grinning. "You're with me. You're over there. Let's make it legendary." The battle was a riot of flailing arms and goofy spins, kids mimicking TikTok dances, parents clapping and filming on their phones. Nia unveiled a final game she called Galaxy Race, where every kid had to launch like a rocket, arms up, shouting, "Blast off!" Before sprinting to a finish line she'd marked with a stick in the dirt. "Like this!" she shouted, crouching, then exploding upward, her laugh a comet's tail. The park was a supernova now, kids screaming, adults cheering, the air electric with something Maya hadn't felt when she arrived. Connection. No whispers, no glares, just pure, unfiltered joy. Nia ran to Maya, her face glowing, grabbing her hand. "Mom, you're playing. Come dance." Maya tried to protest, her heart still wary, but Nia's eyes, bright, unstoppable, pulled her in. She joined the dance battle, shimmying awkwardly, feeling foolish but alive, her laughter mingling with Nia's. For a moment, the weight of the park's judgment lifted, and she felt a spark of something she'd buried long ago, hope. As the sun sank, painting the park in hues of amber and rose, the games stretched on. Nia was a dynamo, flipping from one idea to the next. Now a relay race, now a space station obstacle course using benches and branches. She coaxed the shyest kids out, high-fiving a boy who'd clung to his dad's leg, cheering a girl who'd never joined group games before. Parents were all in, some racing with their kids, others shouting silly rules to ramp up the fun. Maya stepped back, her jacket slung over her shoulder, watching Nia in awe. This girl called a problem hours ago was now the park's soul, a maestro of joy in a place that had tried to reject her. Maya wanted to weep, to shout, to hold Nia tight and never let go. Nia was proving them wrong, not with anger, but with a light so bright it burned away the shadows. She didn't notice Lauren approaching until she was there, standing a few feet away, her sunglasses gone, her posture deflated, her face raw with something like shame. Ethan trailed behind, his hands in his pockets, his eyes glued to the ground. "Ms. Carter," Lauren said, her voice shaky, the first time she'd used Maya's name. "Can we talk, please?" Maya crossed her arms, her body a fortress, her eyes cold as steel. "You got 1 minute," she said, her voice flat, unyielding. "Speak." Lauren's throat bobbed, her hands twisting together. "I was wrong," she said, the words tumbling out, cracked and raw. "What we said about you, about Nia, it wasn't just wrong, it was hateful, cruel." She gestured toward Nia, now leading a pack of kids in a rocket launch, their laughter echoing like music. She's extraordinary. She's turned this park into something magical, and I'm so ashamed I didn't see it." Her voice broke, tears welling, but Maya didn't soften. "Ashamed," Maya repeated, her voice a blade slicing through Lauren's words. "You stood here, you and him," she nodded at Ethan, who flinched, "and told me to leave. Called my daughter a problem like we're nothing. Now you see her shining and you think tears fix that? You don't get to walk away clean." Lauren's head bowed, tears dripping onto the gravel. "I know," she whispered. "I judged you both because of my own biases. I'm sorry. I mean it." She looked up, her eyes pleading, but Maya's face was stone. Ethan stepped forward, his voice rough. "I'm sorry too," he said, the words heavy, forced. "I didn't see her for who she is. She's running this place, making every kid happy. We were wrong, dead wrong." Maya let their words hang, her gaze shifting to Nia, who was teaching a shy boy how to blast off, both of them collapsing in giggles. That was her triumph. Not these apologies, not these people. She took a breath, her voice low, searing. "This isn't about one bad day," she said, each word deliberate, heavy. "You saw us, me, my black daughter, and decided we didn't belong. Not because she's loud, but because of who we are. You want to fix this? Words don't cut it. Change how you live. Start now." Lauren nodded, tears streaming, her face a wreck of regret. "I'll try," she said, barely audible. "I swear." Maya didn't respond. She turned, walking toward Nia, her step steady, her heart a blaze of pride and defiance. The park was alive. Kids weaving through games, parents laughing, caught in Nia's spell. A woman approached, petite, with a messy bun and a toddler on her hip, her smile warm but hesitant. "I'm Jess," she said, wiping juice from her toddler's chin. "Your daughter? She's a force of nature. This park hasn't been this alive in years. We've got a community group. Nothing big, just barbecues, play dates. You and Nia should come. We'd love to have you." Maya paused, caught off guard. She looked at Nia, now leading a final galaxy race, kids trailing her like she was their star. She took the scrap of paper Jess offered, a phone number scrawled in marker, and gave a small nod. "Maybe," she said, her voice softer, not a commitment, but a crack in her armor. Jess grinned, waved, and chased after her toddler, who was toddling toward the slides. As dusk fell, the park shimmered under a violet sky, the games winding down, kids sprawled on the grass, sweaty and grinning, swapping stories of their victories. Parents packed up picnic baskets but lingered, their laughter blending with the evening breeze. A few approached Maya quietly. A dad with a flannel shirt thanked Nia for making my girl's day, offering her a popsicle from his cooler. A mom in yoga pants apologized softly, saying, "I should have spoken up earlier. I'm sorry." Maya nodded, her face neutral. She didn't need their guilt or their praise. Her world was Nia, and that was enough. "Time to bounce, star girl," she called, her voice cutting through the chatter. Nia ran to her, flinging her arms around Maya's waist, her energy barely dimmed, her shirt a canvas of dirt and triumph. "Mom, we're coming back tomorrow, right? I got a new game. It's going to be out of this world." "Bet on it," Maya said, kissing Nia's forehead, her heart swelling until it ached. They walked to the car, Nia's hand warm in hers, the park behind them glowing with fireflies flickering in the twilight. Maya tucked Jess's number into her pocket, not for the parents, but for Naya. Her daughter deserved every chance to shine, and Maya would carve that space for her, no matter who tried to block the way. In the rearview mirror, she glimpsed Lauren and Ethan, still by the picnic tables, their faces shadowed, their postures heavy, like they were grappling with their own reckoning. They'd learned something today, or started to. Maya didn't care if they finished the journey. She wasn't their teacher. She was Nia's mom, and that was her galaxy.